Is TikTok destroying young girls? Let's react to Tim Pool and find out for ourselves. Alright guys, welcome back to our channel where we get you on the grind and improve your mind. So this video we're going to react to a guy by the names of Tim Pool on the internet. So let's review and react and analyze this clip from his podcast and talk about the dynamics that goes into it. So let's begin.
Yeah, so I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can follow along.
Addicted to being sad. Teenage girls with invisible illnesses, known as spoonies, post TikToks of themselves crying or in hospital to generate thousands of likes as experts raise concerns over internet-induced wave of mass anxiety.
This is real.
It's true that young women are getting depressed because of Instagram and TikTok. And as far as it goes with AOC, we were just talking about how she said she might not be alive in September, which to me is an indication of depression or severe, I don't know, what would you call it, like paranoia. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's possible that, you know, she's in the limelight in this position. If she starts putting out posts like any other individual susceptible to depression from these platforms and she's not getting the likes or the attention, she might get depressed. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing this now with teenage girls across the board.
Well, and she is one of the most followed, has the biggest social media presence of any member of Congress. I mean, she has really cultivated her brand as being someone who is in touch with her followers. She does updates through her Instagram Live and through Twitter and things like that, as well as shares her skincare routine, and she sells fun merch. She is as much an influencer as she is a politician and public figure in so many ways.
She's more an influencer.
Yep. Right, exactly. And so in some ways, I could see if she's won re-election and she's had this moment where she was sort of this fun golden girl for the left. And if any of those numbers drop, if she's getting 80,000 likes on a photo instead of the 110,000, she's going to feel that burn so intensely. The same way that, teenage girls are susceptible to it too. Yeah. But it is not just her identity, it's also her career.
You see this throughout the history of YouTube. One day a popular YouTuber will make a video saying I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then all you got to do is look at the views for their past videos and you see them going down and then all of a sudden they snap.
Yep.
So people, it's really amazing to me. I remember getting a message from someone. It happens all the time. And they're
So
are your views down?
We'll start here. So we live in a world of likes and follows. These things have the power to dictate our mood and the way we live our life compared to, it's basically about how they make us feel. These tech giants, these social media platforms, they know what they're doing. And they're doing a great job at controlling the masses, brainwashing you, making you feel sad. That way, not only do you buy into bullshit food and you want to binge on crappy foods and, you support the economy that way, but it's all part of the grand scheme of things. There is a system that is making people weak. And young girls are right dead center falling into the trap of it because they're easily addicted and susceptible to being addicted to these platforms. TikTok is what we call in this channel coronavirus. It is literally, TikTok is actually worse than corona, most likely, because it erodes the brain over time, and these young girls are very addicted to it. Now, the easy solution that we could say is just get off the internet. Stop spending so much time on these ridiculous apps that they're quick fixes. It's like a 10-second clip of shaking the ass and dancing to weird videos and doing dumb stuff and pulling dumb pranks. Vine on steroids is what TikTok is. I miss the days of Vine.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your fucking lying.
Wow. We have to really critically think, and we need to be aware of the society we're going into. We're going into a very fast-paced generation full of social media platforms that dictate our lives. People literally cannot stay off their phones. TikTok is extremely addicting. It's very easy to get a following on TikTok because everybody's just on it looking at stuff, browsing all day. You can waste so much time just going through TikTok videos and destroying your life. All these young girls, boys too, but girls really, they like the validation because they get more attention. Any girl, we see it on Twitch as well, a female gamer who shows her tits will get a bunch of views and stuff, and it, for her it's great and everything. But for, it really is going to destroy us, I think, in the long term. This is just the beginning, unfortunately. A lot of future generations are going to be raised on these platforms. If I have kids, I'm not going to get them a cell phone until 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to try not to give them a cell phone ever. But it's just astounding how these apps have the ability to control our mind if you let it. You have to be a very strong person to resist these apps and stay off your phone for a good amount of time. And, an app like TikTok or Instagram and not getting a lot of likes or follows, it does make people sad. It affects the overall mood, and it's all part part of the plan of the system to keep you as a slave to the Matrix. We need to escape this Matrix in order to truly be free.
We've talked about this plenty of times on the channel, and we've done the review on the Social Dilemma, or whatever the hell that thing was called on Netflix. That was a few years ago. They're really meant to try to give you the mental stimulus of dopamine spike that that you would need, and it's like easy, quick, instant gratification. But the thing is that with that, you also get the negative. So you get all the likes. Ooh, I'm getting likes. Oh, I'm getting likes. But then when you start to like not get likes on certain things,
But you lose your soul.
then you start to get really sad. And because how social media has become, especially in the last I think about 8 years, social media has become something where people have their feelings attached to it and they become consumed by it. And so anything that negative that happens to them through there, where either they don't get enough likes or they're not getting enough views for whatever video or stuff like that, if any interactions with what they're doing on there goes down, then they get upset. And so that in itself is hurting everybody that does it, because everyone's going to go through it, because people shouldn't be on these things every day. And so if someone doesn't look at a video that goes up exponentially, someone might not get a lot of views on a video, they might get upset, and they might get depressed by it. But that's something that no one should be getting depressed about. If you really take a step back and look at all this stuff, none of this shit matters.
You gotta get into the real world. That's where things happen. But let's continue with the
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, yes. And they'll be like, dude, something's going on. I'm like, it's called summer. Yeah. Like, summer happened. People went outside. Calm down. Yeah. Like, I see these trends all the time. And there are people who,
should promote global warming so they stay inside.
Well, I remember, like 2 years ago, it rained for a week straight on the East Coast across the board. And then one day, I got messages from people being like, dude, my views are cut in half. I'm panicking. Like, what's going on? I'm like, bro, the rain stopped. Everybody went outside for the first time in a week. Calm down, man. Mm-hmm. But this is what happens to these young girls on social media. They'll post a picture of themselves, get 100 likes, and go, ooh, 100. The next day they get 80. They get depressed. They panic. Why aren't they getting likes? They delete the photo and repost one. Can I do better? Can I do better? Not realizing, bro, it's like 2 a.m. People are asleep. Calm down.
I knew girls who would, when they traveled out of the country, they would time their Instagram posts to go up. They'd set alarms for 3 a.m. So it was the correct time to post in America. They got the maximum likes. I didn't even grow up with TikTok. This is crazy.
Right. And I think social media has really morphed too, where not only are we seeking validation through the likes, but your depression and anxiety is affirmed through social media. Social media used to be a highlight reel for people's lives. You follow these influencers, but it's not real. They're in Hawaii, but they're probably arguing with their boyfriends behind the scenes, whatever the case may be. Now it's a trend to cry on social media. It's a trend to show your panic attacks, and that gets you millions of likes.
Or having anxiety coping. Here are my anxiety copes, or here's my OCD copes, or here are these things that I think I'm doing that are actually very strange behaviors.
Or misspelling words. So,
that'll do it too.
Yeah. So it's true that if you misspell a word in your title, you'll get more engagement as people want to correct you.
Wow.
So what happened is a bunch of YouTubers started intentionally misspelling words, like simple typos, and then little kids who were watching it started misspelling the words that way, thinking it was spelled correctly. Yeah, social media is melting the brains of humanity. I gotta tell you.
And particularly young girls. I did an episode one time because I was scrolling on TikTok. I do have the app, regrettably, but I was scrolling through
part of your job.
It is part of my job. But I kept getting videos of young girls who have Tourette's-like tics, and I kept getting them. And it's multiple girls, and I was getting recommended these videos. And upon watching them, found that several of them had the exact same tic. So I started looking into this and doctors talking about it. And they actually had doctors saying these girls are being so heavily influenced by a mix of anxiety and TikTok. They are developing functional neurological disorders that are real.
We've talked about this already, I'm pretty sure, on the channel.
But this is the future. We talk about so much stuff improvement on this channel. We can only talk about it so much, but the truth is, only the small minority of people are going to watch videos like this and try to get better and going to try to improve their life, exercise. But the vast majority of people are doomed, potentially, if they keep going on the course they're going to. Most people are very complacent and they easily go with the flow. The future does not look good. The future is going to have the future generations of kids being raised on these platforms. We don't know what's going to happen exactly because this is more of a social experiment than anything else because we've never had access to technology like this. I didn't grow up with a phone until I was maybe 13, 14, 15, whatever. And neither did Mike. We're sort of a hybrid of two generations, the old and the new. So we sort of see both sides of the equation, which gives us the opportunity to openly think about this kind of stuff and react to videos like this. But we need to look at the future as well, because these kids are the future. When I die, when Mike dies, our children are going to take care of us. Possibly, if we make it, which does not seem likely. But if we do make it as a species, and Skynet doesn't take over, then we're going to have to really be watching what we're giving them, because the future does not look good. If anyone has kids, they need to properly teach them the balance between technology and the real world, have them not be too addicted. It's going to be very tough. And, we'll have things like this, these little girls developing these tics, and just talking about it's cringy. But it's true. They develop all these social things with the brain. The brain is not meant to consume this kind of stuff, the brain can only take so much. And some brains are more fragile than others, so you have to be very careful with what you're doing.
They were talking about it just before, but it's something I don't get. Why? I don't get why people do this. And they post, their anxiety or like their, whatever negative things that they're going through, they post it on Instagram or wherever just to get validation for the things that they're going through. Why? It's like, I understand why. I get why. And it's because that they want the validation of other people, and they want to know that other people are going through it and that they don't feel alone. But at the same time, other people don't care, which is sad. But also, that's something that you shouldn't be doing through the lens of social media. And you should be going to maybe, I don't know, a therapist or some sort of clinical doctor to, figure out what the hell is wrong with you, to fix it.
Or just watch our channel instead.
Everyone has issues with something. Something somewhere. Someone has some sort of issue. And the way to cope with that is not to cope, is to figure out the problem and fix it. That is how humans, just humans in general, work. That's how we've always worked. If there was an issue, we'd figure it out. Men do it easily, a lot easier than others, just saying. It's true. Not gonna, I'm gonna get agitated over here. But if men see a problem, they figure out what the heck is wrong with it and they fix it. That's just how we are. We critically think. That's just naturally what we do. Women, it's a little different. Sometimes they'll need help. Sometimes they can figure it out on their own. That's good. But when they use social media and they use it as an outlet to just give out pretty much all their bullshit problems, and guys do it too, and guys are stupid to do the same thing, it doesn't help anybody. It's only going to sink you down more into the negativity that you're already in. Yeah, you don't want to be in that negativity. You want to get out of that negativity, and the only way to do that is to fix the problem.
Yeah, TikTok's making people very emotional. But let's continue.
That are real. They're not just puppeting and parroting. They're actually developing these anxiety-induced
I'm
tics.
a huge fan of video games, but man, we are tweaking our brains with modern technology.
Yes.
No, but think of
It's like a big
the
experiment, dude.
the emotional development that teenagers are going through. Like, part of being a teenager is looking at your peers around you and figuring out what the social norms are. So if you're only being fed people who are behaving in, maybe they really do have Tourette's and they have, an issue and they're trying to talk about it or bring awareness. But if you're constantly being served like, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have Tourette's, like, you are then trained to be like, maybe I do too. And you start seeing it anywhere because that's part of the emotional growth that teenagers are going through. Like, we should keep them away from this stuff. It's not that we shouldn't talk about mental health or anything like that, but like, we don't need to shove it down their throats so constantly that they become paranoid they themselves have these issues.
Just stop telling yourself that.
That I've noticed is it's not so important how many followers you have, it's the quality of the followers. Why are they following you? Is it because they're really listening to what you're saying, or is it because they want to laugh when you fall down?
Yep.
I don't want those people following me. And the problem with social media is just the number shows on your page, so they think more is better. But then you get the direct subscribers. This is where you start to realize the quality of the follower or the watcher or the viewer or whatever is much better, because you might have 10,000 people paying you $10 a month, but he might have 10 million people watching paying him nothing. Mm-hmm. He's way worse off. You're way better off with less followers, more quality, and hopefully young women, we can teach them that maybe through direct
They don't realize.
subscriptions.
Well, and they see the internet as the be-all and end-all. I don't remember what study came out, but most young people, like 1 in 4, want to be social media influencers. This is a whole new area of the world that they are completely devoted to, right? And they will never have a break from it if that's the career they choose to pursue.
Yeah, it's an augmentation to your career, social media. No one is just going to land on being a social media influencer and that's it. Because if your life is boring, no one's going to watch your social media. You've got to do something cool with your life. And then the social media will be there to show everyone what you're doing.
Or you have to sell all of your personal information. You have to, as a young teen mom, start talking about your past relationships. Or, as you get married, you have to give all the details of everything that's going on. You have to sell who you are in order to please people, which is a really morally corrupt
You gotta fake it.
living. Yeah.
I remember when I was younger and like MySpace first came out and stuff like that. We were on, I think it was like LiveJournal was first.
Yeah,
I mean,
Zynga.
I was on CompuServe, because my family had computers. Then you got AOL.
GeoCities. Yeah.
Then with AOL, you had GeoCities and other sites that you could make your own site. Then eventually you got like LiveJournal. Then you got Friendster. You guys remember Friendster?
Hell yeah.
And then MySpace.
Yeah.
And I remember Facebook came out, and it was
I
like all
remember
the cool
MySpace
kids
for a
that were
minute.
migrating to Facebook. And I would see these posts from people that just looked so awesome and fun, and I was like, how come they're doing all this really awesome stuff and I'm not? And then, it wasn't until later I realized, like, oh, they weren't. They were
Right.
faking cool things so they could look cool, and like that was it was marketing. And so we end up seeing this highlight reel of their life of all the coolest things they've done, but they staged a lot of it. They try to make it look as cool as possible. They try to make their lives look like movies so that you're jealous of them.
My favorite is, I know girls who have, when they go through a breakup, right? They start posting on their Instagram and all this story all the time because they can't be the one that's at home and like sad. They have to be busy and cool and having a great time.
Can
Their mind is
confirm.
somewhere else. Like, these people don't realize they're robbing themselves of their own actual individual lives
Yeah.
for the sake of other people who are viewing from their bedrooms.
Yes, all they're
It's
giving away
insane.
is their own time, which ends up being their lives. And I do
You
want to
are.
say, before we move on from the all this AOC talk, she's talking about holding two completely different views in her mind at the same time. I think she's about to get red pilled. Changed my mind.
That's what it
Hope I'm
feels
right.
like.
Hope I'm right.
I kind of went through something similar,
Oh,
right?
and
I already mentioned.
Thing there, but yeah, you guys get the point. Basically, we need to be careful. We need to, they said it themselves. Very true. A lot of people, they always post the highlight reels of their life, but there's a lot more than that behind the scenes. Always know that there is so much more going on with people's lives behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. So one of the solutions that we have, we got to get off the internet more. We got to get into real life. Go out, actually make some friends, go do some things. Telling you, if you spend a little time off your phone, you'll realize that how much time you actually waste, and you'll realize that life is so much more beautiful when you're not looking at a screen all the time. So be very careful in the future. Try to get your kids off this crap. And we'll see if we can try to make a better future, which is what we're trying to do on this channel. But we got to spread awareness. That way we can fix the problem and see what we can get going. So if you have any comments on this this trend going on, let us know in the comment section below. Hit the like button on the video if you have not already. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. You can also donate to the Cash App. The link is in the description. The funds go towards the stuff for this channel. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video.